So tonight we're going to cook pork shoulder. Stater Bros kindly gave me a half picnic Boston butt, which is basically a pork shoulder cut in half, and what I did is boned it out, cut it into cubes, a little bit of mustard as a binder, and I smuggled some of my meat dust over in my suitcase, not my prison pocket, don't worry about that, and I marinated the meat. So now we're going to put it on the barbecue and we're going to do offset. So the coal's going to go on one side of the grill, the meat's going to go on the other, and then just before it reaches the right internal temperature, we'll give it a quick sear, and then we'll be eating dinner. Perfect. Time to get our coals lit. If you haven't invested in the chimney starter, you're a mad bastard. You need to go and get one. It's the best thing you can ever buy for barbecuing. You literally pour your briquettes into the chimney starter, put a firelighter underneath it, lit of course, and in 15 minutes time, you're ready to use the charcoal. So yeah, one firelighter, light it with a match, chimney starter goes on top, and that's it. 15 minutes later, coals are ready to use. As I said before, we're going to cook these offset, which basically means we're going to put our meat on the opposite side to where our heat source is. There's no secret to it, it's not fancy, it's literally cooking your food away from your coals. Because if you try to cook your food on top of these burning hot coals for the duration of the cook, it'd be blackened and burnt to a cinder. So coals on the left hand side, meat's going to go on the right hand side, and then when we want to sear the meat, that's when we move it onto the direct heat of the coals. Here's our pork shoulder. As I said, I cubed it up, tried to keep it fairly sort of even sizes. I do this because it cooks evenly then. If you've got a skinny bit, a fat bit, a skinny bit, a fat bit, it ain't going to cook at the same time. This is corn, the husk is on. I always cook the corn with a husk on because it protects the flesh of the corn and it actually steams it from the inside out. So they're going to go above the heat source. And the pork's going to go on the right hand side of the barbecue away from the direct heat. And then what we're going to do is just open up our airflow a little bit and let these cook away for about 15-20 minutes or so. What we're basically doing by putting the meat away from the charcoal on the opposite side of the barbecue is we're letting it take on a little bit of smoke. So people always ask about smoking brisket, smoking big joints of meat. This is the best place to start. Pick something small that you don't really mind if it goes wrong. So like pork chop, pork shoulder, sausages, anything really, like even a steak. Like you can get quite an inch thick steak and try and smoke it. That's all we're doing here is moving the meat away from the heat source. There doesn't have to be any like flashy deflectors in the way, or you don't have to spring for a Traeger or a Kamado, nothing too fancy. You can do it on a simple barbecue. Even the smallest of kettles, as long as your heat source is on the left hand side and your meat's on the right hand side, that is smoking meat. The pork shoulder has taken on some smoke now for about 20 minutes or so, and the internal temperature has started to rise. We want to get it to around 72 degrees. You can eat pork cooked similar to steak. If you know the provenance and you know it's been farmed sustainably and ethically, you can eat pork similar to steak. But today I'm going to cook this pork shoulder to around the 72 degree mark. So to finish it off, all I'm going to do is move it onto the coals now, let it take on some direct heat, get some colour, get some caramelisation. The old, I think it's a Maillard effect, I can't pronounce it, sounds like a duck. But basically it's the chemical process where the sugars and the enzymes inside the meat caramelise and you get that nice brown crustiness on the outside of the meat, makes the fat go crispy, everything you love about barbecue. So enjoy some glorious shots of this pork shoulder taking on some flame, getting some caramelisation, and soon we'll be ready to eat. As always, thank you for joining me on the channel. Jack's Meat Shack. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be putting out videos like this every week. Follow me on Instagram at jacksmeatshack.com, and if there's anything you want to see cooked, please add it in the comments and I'll do my best to oblige. Once again, thanks for joining me today at Jack's Meat Shack, and I will see you again soon. Enjoy some nice pictures of the pork all cooked on the dinner table. See you later.